Now, there's an obesity crisis in Thailand, which is now Asia's second heaviest nation. And at the forefront of this problem are the country's revered Buddhist monks. Nearly half are obese and 1 in 10 are diabetic, according to a recent study. Well-meaning but unhealthy religious offerings to the monks are part of the issue. And it's led to the Thai Monk Council offering guidelines on what kinds of food to provide. Well, joining me here to discuss is Dr. Rupi Ojla, an NHS doctor and founder of website The Doctor's Kitchen, and Dr. Faramaha Bunchoi Duja, a Buddhist monk and director of Thailand's Chiang Mai Buddhist College. Thank you both for joining us here on the program. Dr. Ojla, I'll start with you. Why do you think there's this obesity problem amongst monks?
Well, I'm looking forward to finding out myself, actually. It sounds as if that their routine is very structured and one that is conducive to a healthy lifestyle. I've actually spent some time about 15 years ago living with Thai Buddhist monks, and they have very good structure, they have very good diets, they have a lot of stress relieving activities, obviously, with meditation and good sleep hygiene as well. So it seems like the culprit, the most likely culprit in this instance, might be sugary drinks and high refined carbohydrates.
Let's ask Dr. Duja, who joins us now. Dr. Duja, is this correct, what the doctor here in London is saying, that it could be sugary drinks?
It actually, because of the food that people offer to the monks and the behavior of the monks of taking of the food, which is not according to the Buddha teaching. That is things that I think it is the cause of the problem.
So their entire diet has changed as a result of these offerings?
Actually, people in Thailand, they like to offer the food which is the best food that they think. So when they think it is the best, so it's sometimes not the healthy food.
Doctor, just tell us, I mean, what can they do if it's being offered to them, and it's now causing sort of this obesity issue?
Yeah, well, first thing, I think it's quite interesting to note that, and this is from my limited knowledge of Thai monk diet, that they probably have lower calories than the general population overall. And what it shows us is that calorie is not calorie. It depends on where those calories are coming from. And it seems like in this instance, it might be coming from high refined carbohydrates, sugary additions to the diet. And that is according to what they've been offered as well. So really looking at the diet, looking at what elements could be causing this issue and trying to optimize them as much as possible, going for whole foods, less refined carbohydrates, and they're only once a day as well. So that's another interesting point, that they should have a healthier lifestyle.
Dr. Duja, just tell us how you're trying to bring about change now.
Actually, in the Buddha teachings, the Buddha have already teach to the Buddhist monk to be aware of what is offering. And actually, you have, for the Buddhist monk, you have to also be like, let's say, remind yourself that what you are to eat or what you are to take for the meal. For example, I am just taking an example of the teaching which is on the reflection of on 4 requisites, especially on meal, particularly on meal. Before and after meal, you have to remind yourself on the time that wisely reflecting, I use this food not for fun, not for pleasure, not for fattening, and not for beautification, and only for the maintenance of the nourishment of this body,
so
for keeping it healthy. This is things that we have to remind for the Buddhist monk. We have to remind all the time, before eating and after eating. But the Buddhist monk at this time, there may be a lack of this knowledge of reminding themselves while taking food.
So if someone offers them the food, can they say no?
They cannot say no. They have to accept, but they can choose what should be eaten.
Okay, I'll just ask you, Rupi. I mean, there's sensitivities in a lot of these cultures, aren't there? I mean, you must deal with it as a doctor as well. When you give advice, you find that actually the cultural sensitivities play into it.
Yeah, and I think what we might have discovered from that short interview is that it might not be the monks themselves that need better education about nutrition. It might be those offering the food to them, because as he was saying, the offerings have to be accepted by the monks, and they can only eat what they're given as well once a day. So it might be an educational program in Thailand that we need to educate the general population that are giving the offerings what they should be offering in the first place, so it's conducive to the Buddhist teachings.
And what advice do you give your patients, you know, who have to deal with these sort of cultural issues as well?
Absolutely. I think there are principles that probably stem from the Mediterranean diet that are actually applicable to lots of different cuisines. It's whole foods, largely plants, lots of colours, quality fats, and lots of fibre as well. And you can actually apply that template to lots of different cuisines, whether it's Thai cuisine, Chinese, Indian, or Malay, or anywhere else in the world.
Dr. Ojla and Dr. Duja, thank you both for joining us here on the programme. Now let's just bring you